Today, I just want to talk to you about meditation and how to meditate. Basically, the purpose of meditation is either to have an objective to the meditation or to empty the mind of all thought and all worry. So basically, you choose the objective of your meditation. Do you want to empty your mind, or do you want to have an objective such as an object to your meditation that you want to think about? For instance, Buddha learned that suffering comes from not being kind and compassionate towards others. So Buddha and Jesus taught the same thing, that how to transcend suffering by being kind and compassionate towards others. So that would be the object of the meditation. We would empty first our mind, empty our mind of all thought, completely relax the body, relax everything, and open your mouth a little bit to release the tension in your jaw. And you just sit there and you just think about nothing. A thought arises, I see the thought, oh, I need to buy this thing, or I need to pay this bill, and I just let the thought go and then think about nothing. Totally empty. Totally empty of all thought. No worries, no anxiety, no stress, no nothing. Because I'm not thinking about anything. I'm completely empty. Okay, now I want to make an object to my meditation. Right now I want to think about being kind and compassionate towards others. Coming from me, it's a very funny thing, because the beauty of meditation and the beauty of spiritual principles is at any moment they can completely disappear from our memory, and we behave as if we never learned them before. So it's important to remember that it takes a lot of time and a lot of attention to remember how to be kind and compassionate towards others. And there's an exception to every rule, when sometimes we know that suffering comes from not being kind and compassionate towards others, right? That's where suffering comes from. But sometimes the exception to the rule is that sometimes we do it anyway, knowing that it's going to cause us suffering, but it's something that was necessary. So maybe at one point in my past I was not kind or compassionate towards others, and it definitely causes and still causes more suffering to me. It hurts more, but it was necessary for a purpose. There was a purpose to it. It wasn't without a necessity, and one day everyone will understand why it was necessary, because there's no mistakes, So it's funny to hear me say the only way to transcend suffering is to be kind and compassionate towards others, when like 99% of the time I am, but that 1% that I'm not is a brutal 1%, and anyone that has been on the other end of that will definitely call me a hypocrite for talking about meditating on kindness and compassion. Yeah, doesn't matter. Let their perception of me be what it is. I can't change it. even if it's not real. And they just think about me something that's totally wrong, because they have no idea who I am or anything. Is it their fault? Should I hate them for it? No. Should be kind to them anyway. Try to. Now, definitely from this day forward, that's the thing about it. Our past is gone. We can think about our past all we want, and that will just make it harder for us. The only way to move forward is to think about right now. What is in front of me? What's in front of me right now? And it is a lot of stuff I have to do. This is only just the beginning. But anyway, to meditate on kindness and compassion, I would think about nothing first, and then think that I want all people to be free from suffering. That I want all people on the planet. I want all living beings to be free from suffering, where no one is suffering anymore. If I think about that for the planet, and that's my prayer to God for this earth, is that I want all people on planet Earth, all living beings, to be free from suffering. That no one is suffering, that everyone is happy, that everyone achieves their dreams and their goals and their visions about the world, and everyone gets what they want, right? That's what I wish. For everyone to be free from suffering, to transcend desire and the illusion that is in front of us, to transcend that illusion, to recognize the source of suffering and how to be kind and compassionate towards others. That's my prayer, my meditation that I think about. How do I make that happen? How do I get everyone on board? It sounds really amazing. Is it possible? There's some people that say it's not possible, that there will always be duality. But I thought everything is supposed to be possible. With Jesus, with Christ, all things are possible. So if I think about the world, and I say, okay, I don't want any more duality. I just want all people on planet Earth to be free from suffering. And the way that I'm going to achieve it is by being kind and compassionate towards others around me and understanding. And sometimes that kindness and compassion will lead to non-intervention, to doing nothing. Simply, sometimes doing nothing is the only answer. Saying nothing, being nothing, doing nothing. For instance, a situation could occur outside, and two people could have a disagreement, and I could see that. And in my first desire to be the hero or to be the good guy, I could try to intervention. But in doing so, one person could think that I'm taking sides, and immediately I'm not being kind and compassionate towards him, and then he cuts me with a knife or hurts me. Then that would cause me more suffering and my family more suffering. So in those instances, sometimes non-intervention and doing nothing is the answer. When someone attacks me online or says something that is very harmful and uncalled for and completely ignorant at the highest level, right? If I react, I will create more suffering for myself. But if I do nothing, say nothing, do nothing, it just goes away. It doesn't exist in my mind anymore. That's what all of these people have to do once they get into a bubble. And to focus on kindness and compassion towards others then in every moment, in every interaction that I have with someone else, if I'm meditating on this constantly and telling myself, be kind and compassionate towards others, be kind and compassionate towards others. Let all living beings be free from suffering. Let all people be free from suffering, from all delusions. Everything, every single thing that we experience about this world, obviously, the world in front of us, we think that it is the world and that that's all there is, but that's obviously not real. There's deeper spiritual truths about this world that are more real. People, they have been debated about since the beginning of time, and they can only be understood once you believe in them. That's it. As soon as you believe in it, then you can understand it. If you never believe in it, if you're always a disbeliever in it, you'll never understand it. That's just the way that it works. So all of the things that I'm talking about, you have to believe in them for them to be real. You have to believe that suffering comes from not being kind and compassionate towards others. And then at the same time, you have to be understanding that it doesn't apply to everything, because sometimes we don't do anything and someone does something to us anyway, and it causes us to suffer, even when you've done nothing wrong. So how do you explain that? That's the failure of it. Because if I understand it only in my reaction to what is in front of me, my reaction to the world in front of me, if I think about suffering coming from not being kind and compassionate towards others, then when someone harms me, right, my reaction is going to either create peace or create suffering for myself. And I know this from 32 years of walking this planet, that my reaction is going to create more suffering for myself. Sometimes it does, because all of my training and all of my experience, my quick response to defend myself, or not thinking about being kind, like just brutally saying something with my mouth that just cuts so deep, like without having self-control, I can just brutally destroy people with words. And it's not just me, everyone has that ability. Every single person walking the planet, we all have that ability to hurt each other with words. And these words cut so deep, they're stronger than any weapon on earth. Words are weapons. Words are powerful. TV, the radio, the news feed, all news feed is powerful. It's a powerful weapon and a tool. All words. And when we use them towards others, if we don't think about their power, we can really hurt each other. We can become bullies. We don't even realize it. We can push someone to their own suicide. Better to not even say that word, ever. Never say it. Never give it attention. Or if we live in the truth, then we can talk about it and we can say how to defeat it. But if you focus on it too much, then you'll give someone the thought of it. It's better to never say the word. All attention goes to what we say. If I say bus, then I just think about buses, right? Attention that we have, our time, every single thing that's going into our ears, that we're seeing with our eyes, it is all part of what we're feeding ourselves. It's all part of it. So what we feed ourselves makes us who we are. And then what we desire to focus on also makes us what we are. So if I focus on something, if I focus on a problem, if I focus on a solution, on only how to solving something. Everything that comes in front of me, I practice non-detachment and then focus on it like a robot-like decision. Well, that will create suffering for myself. If I'm not kind and compassionate towards others, whenever they have a problem with something, if I don't have empathy for them and try to help them, it's going to cause me to suffer more. At the same time, right, which is what I've experienced, is you can be the nicest person in the world and you can let everyone walk all over you. And then, because you're so nice and humble, you can make it seem to them, you can always bring it back to where you make it seem like it's your fault and not their fault. Right? That's what I've experienced now because of these fundamental truths that I have. I end up letting everyone walk all over me and just take advantage of me, and then I still make them feel like it was my fault, that they're the good guy, right? That's when you transcend everything totally, right? It will make you suffer more if you never fight for yourself. It will make you suffer more if you never stand up for yourself. And then, in the way that you stand up for yourself, if you're not kind and compassionate, it will cause more suffering as well. So not everything is only about kind and compassionate towards others. You have to be kind and compassionate to yourself too. So if you take it to one extreme, this is the thing about extremes. If you take a thought, a rational thought about a spiritual practice, a spiritual principle, and you apply it to everything in an extreme way, you'll create suffering for yourself. That's why you have to have moderation, even within your thinking about different spiritual practices or principles, because anything to an extreme will hurt you.